Hello, everybody, and indeed, Chicago Tony V here. I want to put a big disclaimer on the front end of this video. Okay, I'm going to be talking about, weight loss and diet ideas. I just want to make it perfectly clear that I fully realize I am an obese person, okay? I don't for a moment want to pose as someone who has all the answers or any of the answers. I'm someone who's actually shopping for answers. I'm trying to figure out answers. So I want to make that very clear. I am in the mode of trying to reach a healthy body weight. This is something that I've become very interested about, and heck, maybe even a touch desperate about, if I'm being totally honest, okay? So this is what interests me, and as I've been wanting to head towards a healthy body weight, something I've heard a lot about recently is this craze called intuitive eating. Intuitive eating. I've heard about it here and there over and over. Finally had a good friend of mine reach out and say, hey, you need to check this intuitive eating stuff out. Not necessarily because it seems like the be all end all. We're going to look into this and see if this seems to make any sense to you guys, and I'm going to share my own thoughts. But once I realized there was a subreddit for this intuitive eating group, cult, whatever you want to call it, I decided, okay, I'm going to look into it because I use Reddit. I love Reddit. So I think where I will start out with you is just showing you what this subreddit seems to be all about. Okay, so here's the intuitive eating subreddit. It says intuitive eating is a way to reclaim your time and health from dieting and relearn how to eat in a way that feels intuitive, like we do before diet culture begins to influence us. Oh, that's interesting. They seem to be against diet culture a little bit. Moving on. We're here to cultivate healthy conversations and build a strong community around intuitive eating and a rejection of diet culture. Okay, so they're definitely saying rejection of diet culture for sure. They're making no bones about it. Okay, so now we kind of know where they stand a little bit. Am I against diets? I mean, I hate the idea of a short-term solution because I think that's totally pointless, okay? So this idea that a diet is going to last a few weeks and then I'll go back to the way I was eating before, that never works. So in that sense, I'll agree with these folks. Moving on, let's look a little bit at their rules. I wanted to show you a couple of their rules because I think it's interesting and it might tell us something about this intuitive eating subreddit and what they're thinking. Rule number 3 in the subreddit is no diet talk or intentional weight loss talk allowed. That's interesting. No diet talk or intentional weight loss talk allowed. So is this not about weight loss at all? I'm kind of starting to get the idea maybe it's not about weight loss. Weight neutral language only is rule number 11 in this subreddit. Weight neutral language only. What in the world can that mean? So just don't mention weight at all, I guess. Okay, that's kind of interesting. You know, as I started to wade into the intuitive eating subreddit, as I've just shown you, some of the rules and just their opening statements are a little odd to me. Now, let me make it clear, okay? Like I said before, I want to reach a healthy body weight. I don't want to be obese anymore. I don't want to be overweight anymore. I want to feel healthy. I haven't felt healthy in really decades, okay? So I am openly striving for this, okay? And maybe this is where my goals compared to the intuitive eating people, maybe this is where they diverge. I don't know. But at any rate, if I thought let's look a little deeper into this, I wanted to show you a specific post. Now look at this post. This fellow posted, how do people just eat one piece of chocolate and then not binge on the whole bar? Decided to repair my relationship with sweets. I thought that's very interesting. Relationship with sweets? Who has a relationship with sweets? Anyway, especially chocolate. I used to not even like chocolate very much, but my mom always showed extremely unhealthy eating habits, very restrictive diets followed by binges, leading to weight gain, etc., etc. So I think this is a very reasonable ask, okay? I'm assuming most people, if not all people in this subreddit, and there are thousands and thousands, have weight issues, right? If I could eat chocolate bars all day and there were no ramifications, right? I felt fine, I felt vibrant and healthy, and if I were at a healthy body weight, it wouldn't be an issue, except maybe the expense of it, maybe. So I contend that people are there because this is a rough way to live, right? You don't want to be a slave to processed food. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm surmising. So this fellow posted that. How do people just eat one piece of chocolate and then not binge on the whole bar? And I'm just saying I totally get it. I totally get it. So what I want to do now is look at some of the responses. And this is going to show us, I think, what the intuitive eating folks are all about. Okay, so here's the first response. To avoid binging, start exposing yourself to chocolate at moments you would not have it normally. So for starters, we seem to be saying, okay, not only go ahead and keep eating chocolate, but even find times where you wouldn't even normally eat it and expose yourself to chocolate at those times. Okay, interesting. I'm not so sure I like where this is headed. Moving on, I started with eating it in the morning with my coffee because I feel pretty ambivalent about it then, and I wasn't hungry. So eat chocolate when you're not even hungry and you're ambivalent. I still binge on it in the beginning. Okay, so this person still binged in the beginning, even though wasn't hungry and was ambivalent. As I say, I don't like where this is headed. Okay. But within a month, I was over it. Just keep exposing yourself to it until your brain understands it's not exhilarating or necessary anymore. Okay, so it seems like this is maybe we're starting to get at now a core belief, which is somehow magically, if you're having a problem with the food, right? Twinkies, ho-hos, whatever, chocolate bars, what you really want to do is lean into it. You want to surround yourself with it and eat all you want. And one day you're going to get sick of it, and somehow your body's going to, I guess, readjust, or it's going to learn that you don't really need it or something. This is the idea. I mean, just using my own history, I think this is a dangerous thought. A dangerous thought. Okay, let's move on. Let's see another response to this post of how do I eat just a little bit of chocolate. Same here. I ate several Snickers every day for a few weeks, and then suddenly one day I just felt neutral, too unhappy about the idea of eating chocolate. Now I keep more expensive dark chocolate in my cabinet and have some when I feel like it. I ended up buying that instead because I genuinely like it, but it's also so rich that I find it easier to eat an amount that's satisfying but doesn't make me feel sick later. Honestly, I forget I even have it most of the time. This is all to say, a lot of it for me was just time and getting rid of the scarcity mindset. So there it is again. The answer seems to be eat it whenever you want to, lean into it, eat a bunch of it, and one day it's not going to feel like such a big deal. You know, again, now just my perspective right now, again, as I say, I'm a person who's looking to head toward a healthy body weight because I just want to feel healthy. I don't think it's safe for me to be whatever I am. What am I, 80 pounds overweight, 100 pounds overweight, something like that. Nothing I'm proud of for sure. You know, if I do this, right, if I eat Snickers bars for the next 4 weeks while I work it out of my system, how much weight will I have gained? So now I'm further away from what I really want is just to be healthy. And furthermore, I do wonder, this thing of you're going to work it out of your system and your brain's going to figure out, okay, it's not scarce. Well, if you've been eating Snickers bars for a month and your brain finally says, you know what, it's not scarce, I'm not so impressed, who's to say it's not going to move to something else? Pizza, ice cream, you know, those Keebler cookie things. Who knows? I'm just saying. I don't know if I like where this is headed. Here's another response here. By eating the whole bar without guilt, shame, or beating themselves up for it, or thinking of one bar of chocolate as a binge. Once your body and mind get used to the idea that a bar of chocolate is a thing to eat that is morally neutral. What does that mean, morally neutral? We're talking about relationships with junk food and now morality surrounding junk food. I think if you thought about it very hard, you could probably argue that it is immoral to eat junk food. Let's say you have children depending on you to be healthy so that you could be the breadwinner, put food on the table, et cetera, and you're eating chocolate bars all day. I think it could be argued that that's immoral. I'm just saying, since you brought morals into the thing, whoever you are. It's morally neutral, not better or worse than a single piece of chocolate, a salad, or anything else. No, chocolate equals a salad. Nay. I disagree. I don't like where this is headed. All right, let's go back. It is morally neutral, not better or worse than a single piece of chocolate, a salad, or anything else. Then your body can begin to eat just how much chocolate it wants. To instead of either being compelled to finish the bar, bag, whatever, whenever it is available, or being compelled to eat exactly one single piece or exactly one single serving size. If you're still in the mindset that it is better if you eat a single piece of chocolate than a whole bar of chocolate, then that moralization is absolutely going to make it harder to eat individually. So if you decide it's better to eat a little piece than a whole chocolate bar, then it's immediately going to get more difficult. What I don't understand is no one seems to be mentioning, what if you make the chocolate bar hard to get? What about not having it in the house? You know, if you take this idea of surround yourself with plenty, okay, and you apply it to something like an alcoholic, right? Do you think that's the answer? What you want to do, if you want to get your drinking under control, what you want to do is really stock up the bar, surround yourself at times when you wouldn't even drink. Go ahead, put a bottle of beer next to yourself and see what happens. This is not making sense to me. Okay, I'll tell you what I really love. Okay, one of the things I really love is I love Pal Joey's Pizza, right, out of West Chicago, Illinois. I grew up in the area. It's my favorite pizza on the planet. Okay, now I don't live in the Chicago area anymore, and so what does that mean? I don't eat much Pal Joey's Pizza at all. Like, as a matter of fact, I might have it twice a decade now. Twice a decade. All right? And that's because it's more difficult. If I surrounded myself, if I moved in to the apartment above Pal Joey's restaurant, how much Pal Joey's Pizza do you think I would buy then? More or less? So this idea of surrounding yourself with whatever it is, chocolate, et cetera, that's not making sense with me. It's not making sense. I'm sorry. Here's another response. I did something similar with ice cream. I bought a pretty clear glass bowl and a real nice scoop. I would serve up a certain number of scoops and really enjoy the process of using the scoop and seeing the perfectly formed scoops in the dish. Then I would put away the carton and eat that dish. If I wanted more, I would repeat the process. That little decision point made me tune in and see if I really wanted more, rather than eating endlessly to the bottom of the carton. Again, I ask you, if you're looking for a decision process to say, do I really, really want ice cream? Do you think the decision would be the same if the ice cream were, 5 miles down the road at the Kroger versus 5 yards across the kitchen in the freezer, right? What I'm arguing is I think that decision might be different because it's a pain in the butt. A lot of things sound good, but if I don't have them in the house, it's over and done with. You know what I'm saying? I'm not seeing anywhere in this subreddit that it's like they've given up. to be totally honest. Okay, what about fighting the good fight? I'm not saying restricting. I mean, but if you want to go to an all you can eat buffet, who doesn't like that? But if it's salad and carrots and whole grains and potatoes and a little lean chicken or whatever, versus if it's all Captain Crunch, right? I'm just saying there's a difference. All right, so don't surround yourself with Captain Crunch. It seems to me, again, let me do my disclaimer. I'm a fat person. I don't know anything, okay? I don't have any of the answers. I'm a hopeless failure when it comes to losing weight, okay? Let me make that clear. So if you guys want to flame me I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm not. I'm just sharing with you, this isn't really making sense. Know what I mean? All right, here's another response. I had the same thing with chocolate even. What helped me most was getting rid of the scarcity mindset around it. By denying yourself chocolate, by not keeping it in the house, you are more likely to eat all of it when you do have it, because I don't normally get this. I must eat it all now before I restrict again. I'm sorry. I'm going to argue that not having chocolate in the house is not restricting. And if you don't have it in the house ever, and you find yourself, let's say, whatever, once a quarter, you find yourself walking past a chocolate shop, right? And you end up buying, you lose all control, buy 2 pounds of chocolate. You do this 4 times a year. I'm just saying, I think you're probably way better off health-wise than if you have chocolate in the house 365 days a year. I could be wrong, but that's where my thinking is. Okay, so as I said, I'm shopping for solutions, right? And if you haven't figured it out, intuitive eating is not something I'm buying. Okay, I'm not going to buy that. It doesn't make sense to me. It seems really odd. I will give you a sneak peek on what is making sense to me, and this is a concept called calorie density. Jeff Novick is a very famous dietitian who does great presentations on calorie density and how it works. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put a link below in the description so you can see one of my favorite videos of Jeff Novick talking about this. In essence, the way this works is all food has a calorie density, meaning calories by weight of food, okay? And if we look at this great graph that Jeff put together, over on the left, vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, have about 100 calories a pound. Fruits are about 300 calories a pound. Unprocessed carbs like potatoes and rice, etc., are about 500 calories a pound. Beans are 600. Animal products like steak and chicken, that sort of thing, about 1,000. Processed carbs like cookies and crackers, 1,400. Junk food, there's our candy bar eaters, 2,300 calories a pound. Now, this green arrow in the middle, what is that all about? Well, Jeff Novick and others figured out if you want to reach a healthy body weight, you're going to want to average about 550 or so calories a pound with all the foods you eat. Now, this is not calorie counting, okay? I want to make the point that this is not calorie counting. This is understanding the average calorie density of everything you're eating and then just kind of trying to keep it on that 550 target or less. And this is not rocket science. So, for example, if I have a meal of 2 cups of rice, brown rice, okay? I already know that that's around 500 calories a pound, all right? So I'm already underneath that 550 mark. So I'm good. Let's say I pair that with a very nice romaine salad with a with a fat-free dressing, low, no sugar, that sort of thing. Low-calorie dressing, that's great. I'm probably at 100, 150 calories a pound, something like that, which brings the average calorie density down further. See how this works? I'm not going to use this video to go into all the, a big old explanation of calorie density because, again, as I said, I'm not an expert anyway. I'm just showing you I'm running that experiment. I'm doing a calorie density experiment. right now, and I'm going to keep doing it. So far, as you saw in my last video, I came off of a big water fast. It was pretty amazing. I lost 25 pounds in 12 days. There's a video for that. I'll link it, whatever, below. But since then, I've been eating in this way that Jeff Novick teaches and others, and I've been conscious of calorie density. I am not counting calories, not at all. I'm not counting portion sizes. I eat as much as I want. I'm just keeping that density, average calorie density, below 550. And so far, I've been losing about a pound a week, which is amazing. I mean, for a guy like me, losing weight is not easy. Not easy. I have very little success over time. We'll see how this works. I'm going to run the experiment. I'll keep letting you know. As I said, I don't mean to disparage anyone. I feel for all the people that are in the intuitive eating subreddit. Frankly, it seems to me like a bunch of confused people who are going to waste a lot of time on silly ideas. But who knows? Maybe I'm doing the same thing. Maybe I'm wasting time on a silly idea. I'm going to keep you posted. Thanks for watching this. I like you, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.